Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 22nd episode. This intro is different of the Tuesday Night Podcast because I said good evening instead of hello. That's why it was different. See what I did there? This is a podcast about board gaming and tabletop games and role-playing games that may or may not involve dice. I'm your host, SBJ.
Woo!
And with me to my left is Sean.
Yeah, I'm on the left.
Yeah, this sounds good. It sounds plausible. And that delightful
and to your
laugh.
further left.
To my further left with the delightful laugh is Alan.
That's me.
That's you.
Boo!
Oh,
How are you guys?
Good. I just wanted to talk about Sean's connection because we've been struggling with it, and we tried taking his computer to a different location to see if the internet was better there, if that was the issue. And what's different about today's episode, shitty connection, Sean?
I'm using my girlfriend's laptop.
It's so funny because I imagined that it's like a pink laptop and has a basket connected to it that has streamers off the side.
How very enlightened of you. No, it's a newer MacBook than mine. It does have like a rubbery case around it, which
like a spec
I don't think it's
case?
gonna like help the laptop if you drop it, if you fall it. Jesus. Edit that out.
No, it's staying.
But it's like 3 years newer than mine, and it's got all this crap on it, and she doesn't super use it all the time. But
Well, I'm glad you're that far in your relationship where you can share your significant other's computer.
I hope so. I'm in the closet of her apartment right now, so if we weren't at that level, then there's a whole bunch of other things.
What is that a euphemism for, being in your girlfriend's closet? What does that mean?
It means I'm literally podcasting from inside her rectal cavity.
Okay. That went dark real fast.
Yeah,
I don't know what you were expecting. So
I don't know
that's
how
our
to
show.
transition from that. Let's just move into table talk.
Okay.
Yes, let's.
It's time for a table talk.
We have this brilliant list of games we've all played. And by brilliant, I just mean what Alan has played.
Yeah, ridiculous because Sean and SBJ have nothing written down. I feel like I should almost just deal them out where I could just do a SBJ impersonation and a Sean impersonation and talk about the games that I played as if you guys had played them. But my list is Cheaty Mages, which is an AEG game. That's a Senjai Kanai game,
Yeah.
Mr. McCoy. You're a Senjai Kanai fan. Guy who made Love Letter. Played New Salem, published by Overworld Games. So the same people who did Good Cop, Bad Cop. I played Coup, which is from Indie Board and Cards by our friends Travis, right? But I played it with the expansion with the teams, The Way to Go.
Oh,
I haven't played the newest Coup. What is it called? Like Coup Insurrection or something?
Reformation?
Reformation, yeah. Have you guys played that yet?
No, I have not.
Played it at Gen Con, and then because I went into Gen Con going, I'm sick of Coup. Played too much Coup. No more Coup. And then I sat down and I was like, oh, here's more Coup. And then I walked away buying it because it was really good.
I had a copy of Reformation, or I have my copy of Reformation because at BGG-Con, Travis didn't feel like selling, so he just sold all his games on the first day to Fun Again and then put up a sign in his booth that said, we're playtesting games in the other room. And then he left early and asked me to tear down his booth. And so I did. And I just kept all the demo games that were sticking out there.
Oh, and he let you? He was like,
yeah,
just keep it?
I mean, he didn't let me so much as I didn't tell him, and he so clearly did not care about anything.
Perfect.
Wow. I also played a little game called Pick the Lock. Just comes in a tuck box. Kickstarter, a crappy game, like you said last week, SBJ.
Good.
And Gem Packed Cards, which is based on
Eduardo
an app.
Baraf.
Oh, you even know the guy, huh?
Philip Wynn, they used to work together.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. So it's based off his app. and played it. It was funny because a bunch of people with whom I was playing said, "Is this based off an app or something?" So apparently there's some type of clue that it would be better served as an app. But the most exciting thing that I mentioned last week, I played even more Super Secret Project G. Yeah. And
can things be super secret if every project you have are just called super secret?
Well, it's
I mean,
no
you
longer
don't know what the
super
projects
secret.
Is there just secret in your list of other secrets?
Well, I would say at this point, it's no longer Super Secret Project G. It's been downgraded to Secret Project G because I put a Facebook post of what it is, but I haven't explained how to play or anything.
I see.
Yeah. You guys want the reveal?
What about Ultra
Absolutely.
Secret Project?
No, that's just dumb.
Oh, okay. What? I see. I understand.
Yeah. Here's the reveal. Drum roll, please.
Please put a sound effect in here.
It's Cause of Death Ghost?
Cause of Death Ghost?
Yeah, it's Cause of Death Ghost.
That's a game?
That's a game. Yeah, I've been working on the Cardbacks art, but I've been playing really nitty-gritty, dirty playtest beta versions, and it seems to be going pretty well, actually. Yeah.
What kind of game is it? Is it a hit and roll game?
It is a hit and roll game.
Yeah! This is the most excited I've been.
You say yeah a lot like Alan's friend Reed, who very rarely says yeah, but he's like, yeah. Anyway, super inside joke right there. But
I'm gonna have to fix the levels on this podcast now because usually I'm not so excited because it's YouTube.
this will be a very easy way to tell if Reed is listening to the podcast or not.
He listens to the podcast, yeah, for sure. It's weird because every once in a while he'll just mention one sentence that makes me believe he wouldn't have said that if he wasn't listening to this podcast. Yeah, Reed's kind of our web guy. He basically helped us do our website and whatnot. Yeah. But yeah, Cause of Death Ghost. I could elevator pitch it if you guys want me to.
I want you to elevator pitch it as if you are a coal miner or a prospector or an old-timey sheriff or a Russian.
Or a proctologist.
Yes, that one. That's the one. We've hit gold.
Before you elevator pitch it, can you elevator pitch a game that doesn't really exist on the market?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's basically what I'd be doing if I just explained the game to you guys.
And then we would be like, oh, we want that. And then you have to make it.
Right. Yeah, that's even yeah, that's it. That's exactly it.
All right.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you to elevator pitch Cheating Mages because I like that game, but screw it.
Yeah.
Cheating Mages is good. I'm sure I'll play it again. There'll be other times for Cheating
that
Mages.
game is good.
It's super solid.
$12 too, so just buy it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
wait. I need some direction. I'm a proctologist.
Operating on a ghost.
Oh, I like that.
Ghost
real good. It's gold.
All right. Give me some time. I got to think I'll be honest, I don't know if I've ever met a proctologist before, so...
That's hard to believe because I happen to know your dad was a very prominent surgeon. Or, yes, surgeon.
Yeah, but...
And he's an ass man.
Ass man? No, these don't belong to me. I'm not the ass man. I think there's been a mistake.
What's your name again?
Cosmo Kramer.
Cosmo Kramer. You are the ass man.
No, I'm not the ass man.
Well, as far as the state of New York is concerned, you are.
All right.
You tell me you've never shoved your hand up an invisible thing's butt? Well.
All right. I think I can do this.
We've really painted you into a corner.
I'm real glad this podcast has an explicit label.
If it didn't, this would just be all trash. All right. Let's do it. Ding me, SBJ. Ooh. Calm down there. Please relax, Ghost. I'm not a hunter. You must have just come from the spooky Castle Vanguard, haunted by so many ghosts. Relax and know that you're no longer being hunted, as I simply slip this inside of you and explore, much like the hunters explore the inside of Castle Vanguard. Yes, there's plenty of ghosts in there, but the hunters are there as well. Yes, and you don't know if anyone's a hunter or if they're a ghost. And it's a very quick drafting game where you get to pass a card to your neighbor and they get 2 cards, choose one, and the one they don't choose, they pass to their neighbor as well in this game called Cause of Death Ghost. Ooh. So the hunters are trying to kill the ghosts, and the ghosts are trying to kill the hunters. But there's also, relax, I said. You're really clamping down, and it's distracting me. But you need to go ahead and point to someone that you want to kill. As soon as half of the people, not even a majority of the players, are pointing to one player, that player is instantly killed. Then everyone reveals their identity, and based upon who is killed, points are awarded, and you start a round until everyone has gotten to start a round. So you keep playing until everyone started. Then you add up the points at the end, and you determine who is the ultimate hunter, ghost, or paranormal investigator. All right, I got it. You should feel much better now, Ghost. No problem scaring anyone from here on. Man, I feel like we should cheat and prepare these things because, man, I was like, they'll probably ask me. They'll ask me to be a ghost, or they'll ask me to be.
Hey, you were the one that introduced this rule.
This is true. It's true. I've got no room to complain, but I mean, give me some warning or something like, hey, today I think I'm gonna
ask you to be a proctologist operating on a ghost.
Yeah. Oh man. Said I would do better on these things. All right. So
all right, I got some complaints.
Yes.
Already.
Yeah, I mean, I did not do a good job explaining that because there's so many things. There's not just hunters and ghosts, but keep going.
First off, the deficit. What are we going to do about that? Second off, I think... Sorry, I was just going to complain about some things.
All right. So you won me over on hidden roll game.
Okay.
You won me over on drafting.
Sweet. Mm-hmm.
You didn't win me over at me having to point the same time everyone else has to point.
No, you don't point at the same time.
Oh, okay. I see.
I may have explained that wrong. So the way the game works is you start with the first player, you go around in a circle, and the first player draws 2 cards and picks one of the roles to be and passes the one they don't like to the person to the left, and then they draw a card, so now they have 2, and that continues until you get to the last person, and then the last person buries a card. So if you're playing with 4 players, there's 5 cards. If you're playing with 6 players, there's 7 cards. If you're playing with 9 players, there's 10 cards. So there's always one more card than there are players.
Okay.
And so it's really quick because if you're just playing with 5 players, as soon as 2 people are pointing at the same person, that individual is instantly dead and the round ends. So it's one of those things. I've actually played a few times and it's still morphing because it's still beta. I can even walk you through the different changes I've made. But it's interesting because some people will just be casually pointing at someone as they're talking as a gesture. And then someone else will jump in and point at the same person, say like, you're dead. They're like, oh, I was just pointing as a gesture. But it doesn't matter because the pointing is the point of death. Anyway. It's really quick. It's a harmless game because one full game doesn't even take but 15 minutes because you earn points. And I can explain the points. There's Team Ghost. There's like a blue ghost, a red ghost, a green ghost, and there's Team Hunter where there's a blue hunter, a green hunter, a red hunter. And if a ghost dies, all like the hunters... Yeah, right. Just like in Pokemon. Exactly. But all of the hunters, if a ghost dies, get 2 points. But if your specific ghost dies, you get a bonus point, so you get 3. So if like the blue ghost dies, that means the blue hunter gets 3 points, whereas all the other hunters get 2 points. And if a ghost dies, if a hunter dies, vice versa. So all the ghosts get a point.
Is that kind of a tie-breaking mechanism?
It's a little bit of a tie-breaking mechanism, but also your points are public, and it kind of informs your decision on what you want to grab. Because there's other characters like the Poltergeist, woo! And the Poltergeist, all they have to do is not die. And if the poltergeist wins, they get to steal 1 point from anybody. But if they get killed, everybody just gets 1 point.
How are you? How are you calculating points? Like with cubes?
Yeah, right now it's just cubes.
Okay, cool.
It could just be pocket change or something. But as a game designer, I've got a whole bunch of stuff all over the place. And I was calling it ectoplasm or souls.
I'd love to see some green little gem things that were kind of like ectoplasmy. That would be really cool.
Yeah. So that's basically, there's the medium, which is a character that becomes the buried card, except if you win as the buried card, as the medium, you get a bonus point. And then there's the zombie, and this is the real twist. The zombie, if the zombie dies, the zombie gets a point from everybody. So no one wants the zombie to die. But if you're the zombie, you want to die. So there's actually quite a bit of strategy, and it's not total blind talk like in Werewolf, because you do have some information, because you know what card you pass to someone and you can talk about it.
I like that.
Now,
yeah, it's really quick and dirty.
Let's say I'm listening to this podcast and I think that game sounds really fun, but it seems like it's going to be forever since I'm going to get to play it, since we can't even keep Two Rooms at a Boom in stock. What could I do to get my hands on a copy of this game?
You almost sound like a shill, Sean, almost as if we talked about this on the phone. Because here's the thing. As I'm working on it, I'm going to update it on Facebook. But the plan is we're going to put it for print and play on our website, hopefully by the time this even comes out. So we're recording this on Thursday. I'm going to work on it
this weekend.
And this weekend, so I can get a nice version up so people can just play it. And then I can just update the changes as I'm working on it. So any listeners can join on in the fun and send us feedback at contact@tuesdaynightgames.com and give any notes. And I can probably implement changes if people try it out. Yeah. So we need to get that up on the website, which kind of leads into another secret project.
Secret Project SBJ? What's the name of it?
Yeah, that's it, man.
Secret Project SBJ. I remembered it because I listened to the podcast.
Yeah,
that's it.
You want to hear Secret Project SBJ as well?
Yeah, definitely.
You know what's funny is I still don't know what this is.
That's because it has to do with you. We're tired of you not working for us, man. And our web guy, Reed, is amazing, but he's an incredibly busy guy. So we were thinking your expertise is in making websites. May you make our website and help us upload these things? Now, here's the thing. If you say no, we don't want to corner you. You can totally edit this out. I hate putting you in this position in front of all of our listeners. So you can totally edit this out. We can trash this entire episode. You can think about it. You don't have to answer now. I want you to know, even if you say no, go to hell. Still friends.
Sorry, yeah. It would be paid, and it would be on
Space Square.
An editor online. And largely, I think what Alan and I want is to have an easy-to-use, professional-looking site that we can update regularly. Does that sound fair, Alan?
Yeah. The main thing is when we want to change, for instance, we want to start advertising World Championship Russian roulette. In fact, on BGG-Con, they started complaining. I'm not sure if you saw that, Sean, but people on the World Championship Russian roulette page are like, is this game ever coming out? Is this really a game?
Man, I've really stopped listening to any of that stuff. It's weird. It almost sounds ignorant, but it's just never been helpful for me. Like, we know what we're doing. We're working hard,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. But I mean, it's good news. I think that's cool that people are wanting it. They're getting moist for it. So yeah, we want to provide. So the main thing is we want to have an ability to call someone and have a change implemented realistically, but within a week, depending on the size of the change. Like, for instance, Dr. Boom's rules are still wrong on the website. So if you want to read Dr. Boom's rules, we'd love to be able to give the right one. So if I said, hey, here's the updated rules, could you upload those? I think within a week may be reasonable given your situation. So that's kind of what we're looking for, SBJ.
And the big selling point, I think, is just how well the podcast has been going and how good you've been about owning that and making sure it gets up by midnight Central Time, things like that. And I just think we want to continue investing in this relationship because we like it and we want you to be a bigger part of the whole Tuesday Night Games operation.
Oh, that's sweet. I said that sarcastically, but I didn't mean to sound sarcastic.
No, that sounded sincere.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I would totally be willing to help. Obviously, there's more details than just, hey, just do my website. But that
right.
worked
We'll
off.
talk money and whatnot, and we'll talk
of course,
about it
the
as much or as
scope
little
and-
as one. Yeah.
what we're looking for and that kind of stuff. Because one of the things, because I did look into that secret web editor that we were talking about using.
Right.
One of the things we'll be giving up is the ability to do a lot of custom stuff. Like we put a timer up on the Two Rooms and a Boom website, counting down towards the Kickstarter, which required a lot of custom finagling and animation, things like that. And that might be something we would have to theoretically give up. But I think
in
maybe
that example, no, you don't. There's a way to do it.
oh, nice.
So
SBJ's a professional, Sean. We're not just going to his neighbor's dog for this. We're going to the source.
that's right.
SBJ.
It's not that when you switch a platform, it's not that you give up stuff. It's just there's always a way to do it. It's just different than what.
Fair enough. Well, I trust you, man.
But
I
no,
think what I mean to say is our biggest priority now is keeping things up to date and making sure we're on top of it. Whether we've got all the bells and whistles is one thing, but having something that feels alive and dynamic and is changing as we change, I think is more important. Am I characterizing that right, Alan?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're going to want that to be this TuesdayNightGames.com to be a one-stop shop. So when we have any games, almost no matter how far along they are in the development, people can find those game pages through Tuesday Night Games and have fun. If you have questions, hopefully you can find them there.
That's really cool. I also feel like I have some little involvement in Cause of Death Ghost.
You have definitely the name, and I totally just tacked on the theme based upon that. I'm like, man, I should make a game, Cause of Death Ghost, because SBJ asked for it.
And it's a good name.
Yeah,
This is really an SBJ centric episode. Now that I think about it,
I do have a question because you guys are game designers. I'm not.
Alan is a game designer.
Oh, Sean, you.
I mean, your name is on the box of Two Rooms and a Boom.
So
Oh, yeah.
Sean's, yeah.
So I look at a game like The Resistance or One Night Ultimate Werewolf, and they're card based. And the biggest, I would say, flaw to a hidden role game is like once the cards get muddied up, you could almost be like, well, I know that's a spy because the corner's bent.
Right.
As silly as that is, there are like people, especially if you're introducing it to people, and people like to win. They catch on to stuff like that.
If you ask for plastic cards, I'm gonna poltergeist out of your laptop and strangle you to death.
Well, that is the question, because you look at One Night Ultimate Werewolf, and they're not cards. They're like cardboard, but they have the same problem of like fading around the edges.
Being
like,
marked, yeah.
Is plastic cards like that hard in the industry to like do?
That's a great
so much
question.
right now.
Yeah.
But it is a good question. Yes.
With our experience with Panda, they hadn't done plastic cards before. And so whenever you introduce a new component into your line, there's a lot of testing that has to be done. And a lot of problems don't even show up until they've been worn or used for, months or even years sometimes. And so it can be a very, very slow process, not to mention like getting a good supply, making sure that it works with all the kinds of printing they do, that kind of stuff. The process itself is not necessarily hard as much as it is. For instance, one thing Michael, one of the partners over there, told me was that you have to like pressurize games after they're made, because if you don't, they get like moldy. Like when you store them in warehouses and stuff like that, there's just these, like you have to humidify them or something. But they didn't know that until they had made games, had them sitting on a pallet for a bit waiting to ship, and then they arrived, and by the time they arrived, they were moldy, and it turned out that you had the special room.
Think of old 70s and 80 games and how their boxes just don't hold up. It's because they've mastered more of this pressurizing process, so they hold up
exactly
better.
So while I don't think plastic cards are that hard to do, I think one, they're cost intensive. Two, they're a pretty new component for most companies. And three, I hate saying this, as much as people want them, I don't know how much it changes things in the end. I still get emails every week for people losing cards.
The worst part about Two Rooms and a Boom for us, the hardest thing was that we fought so hard for plastic cards, and then like dumbasses, nowhere on the box did we write plastic cards. Sent them out to reviewers, and we got lots of great reviews. But they come back and say, the cards are really slippery. They kind of suck. None of them even realized that they were plastic cards. And every time I'd ask, did you know the cards are plastic? You don't have to change your review. A lot of people change their review upon finding out they're plastic cards. Oh my goodness, I didn't even know. I just thought they were really slick. So here we put in all this time, effort, work, and got a lot of hate mail over making plastic cards. And all we really got back was very little validation for it. So it was one of these things we worked really hard for and got punished for.
Well, for my experience with Tomb Rooms and a Boom is I remember the Kickstarter said that there was going to be plastic cards. And then when I got them, I was like, oh, these aren't plastic because they're pretty thin and I can still crease them pretty easily.
Weird. There's a pretty specific, like, we went thin. We could have gone thicker, but thicker cards creased easier. Like, a little bend was almost permanent. And so you had to find this, like, middle ground between a thin card that was flexible, but still felt high quality, and a thick card that wasn't flexible, but was easier to damage. They were, I mean, just a huge mess in that regard. Would you say, Alan?
Yeah, we worked really hard. We ran it through the ringer, and there's even the video of us, like, scratching it with keys. So yeah, you say you can bend them easily. I would say, yeah, you can bend anything that's of that thickness easily, but not compared to a regular card. For instance, you can make a total C with your hand with our plastic cards, and it will go straight. But if you do that with a regular card, it permanently has a bow.
Right.
But yeah, if you're going to fold it, like actually crease it like you're folding a paper airplane, of course you're going to
But that happens. People lose
it.
them. People crease them. All this sort of stuff happens.
Yeah, and it wasn't like at the end of the day, it wasn't that big of a problem for me because even before I had the game, I ordered 100 penny sleeves and then what are they called? Like card toppers, card loaders. Like
Top loaders.
Top loaders, those thick
I
plastic
can't say
ones.
how many people I've seen on Board Game Geek or Reddit say, well, I'm just really particular about my cards, so I'm going to sleeve them anyway. And it drives me up the fucking wall. But I think we learned our lesson. I think the lesson we learned was
don't do plastic cards.
People want any quality upgrade you're willing to even offer. All gamers want, no matter what. They will always say, yes, give it to us, give it to us, give it to us. But it's not going to make the difference between, oh my God, this game is amazing and fuck this game. It's going to be like, oh, well, I mean, I could have done it better. Like, that's the response you get. You know?
Well, when I say plastic cards, I was more thinking of like the size and thickness of One Night Ultimate Werewolf because those are
wow,
like almost like square tokens.
I actually have a couple cards that are the thickness of credit cards.
Yeah.
They wouldn't fit in the box. We'd have had to upgrade the box size. It would have weighed 3 or 4 times more. I mean, we would have needed to have added on maybe $10-15 to the base game of the price.
It would have been a $50 game almost.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, with Two Rooms and Boom, you have almost 100 cards, if not more, right?
110.
110. I'm just thinking in a game that's only 12 cards. You could
like Kazadesk Ghost.
Yeah, right. You could do like almost like tokens. So instead of, and they don't have to be square, they could be like circle tokens, like the size of a quarter, where you can't bend them. They're easy enough to keep in your hand. If you do an expansion of more cards, they're just like, here's a set of 2 tokens that are very small, very easy to ship, fits in a tiny box.
What you want is a game that I used to love called Pogs. That's what you're looking for, is Pogs.
Realistically, you're scratching upon a topic we covered with foam guns versus not foam guns because it really comes down to the balance of cost management. For instance, Cause of Death Ghost doesn't require a lot of cards. So we could make it like a free giveaway game at Gen Con and Origins like we did Dr. Boom, where you do certain things like sign up for our email list or you get a free copy if you buy Two Rooms and a Boom.
Rub and tug.
Yeah, so we're giving it away, but then they just be the small business card size cards. Or we could go huge like you just said and make them thick One Night Ultimate Werewolf, but actually credit card plastic. But then people have to spend some money. And if we knew the answer, we would go that. Like, which one do people want the most and are willing to pay for the most? So if we knew, we would totally do that. So is it in the middle ground somewhere where they're just average quality cards that people want to have and use? Or is it going to be, dirt cheap or as fancy as can be? I mean, I wish we knew.
Yeah, it's just a very interesting topic of like, well, I could get this free to play game. I can download it. I can print it myself and I can play it. Or I'm willing to spend, $30 even on a simple game just because the components are super nice. And I like that game so much that I would want a nicer version.
There's the hard truth is there's diminishing returns on the quality of any game. And the trick is from a manufacturing standpoint, knowing at what point you're gaining nothing. right? Like we could have made plastic cards and that would have been pretty cool when we did make plastic cards. We could have made metal cards or wooden cards, but at that point,
Ooh, wooden cards.
It's just not doing anything for us. Technically, paper is wood, right? I mean, maybe it's made from wood.
Now,
I'm an idiot. Let's keep
wood
going.
would show marks way more, though, that I think. So wood would mark easily.
And so knowing, like, do we really need plastic minis? Do we need resin minis? Do we need pewter minis? Those kinds of questions. That's what, the manufacturing game on our side is all about, is saying at what point have we reached the highest quality we can give before it stops mattering and starts adversely affecting the thing which I think is the biggest deciding factor for all gamers, whether they like it or not, which is the price point, which is just shown to be true over and over and over again, that people buy $20 games more than they buy $30 games, etc.
And that's a stance that our company has to decide upon, because with Two Rooms and a Boom, we definitely went quality over cost. There were other things we could have done. So we'd say higher quality, relatively reasonable cost. So if this was the continuum of cheap and affordable on one side, and the other side was fancy as all hell and expensive, I think we're in the middle, but closer to fancy and expensive. Now, are we going to follow that for World Championship Russian Roulette? Or are we going to follow that with Cause of Death Ghost or any future games? I don't know. We have to make that decision, because I think we want Tuesday night games to have that feel. For instance, I think Asmodee has a really quality feel, and Fantasy Flight is insane quality, in my opinion, except for the rules writing. Am I right, guys?
Boom.
Suck on that, FGG. Anyways, so we got to make that decision, and I'm glad we have this podcast so we can talk to you, SPJ, and have listeners contact us with their ideas, because then we can have a better idea before we get this brand of what it means.
It's always a struggle.
Such a struggle.
What about you, SPJ? What's tough for you?
What games have you been playing, SPJ?
I have not been playing anything, but by the time this podcast is up, hopefully I will have my first game of D&D under my belt.
It's exciting.
And there was some debate and some confusion last week because I wasn't sure the scope of the D&D game I was playing. Because
let's hear the deets. Give it to us.
So I still don't know everything, but
yeah.
I actually had some listeners contact me with more D&D quiz questions. You want to see some more? People tended to like that, even though it's only been a couple days. You want to answer some more D&D questions really quick, SPJ?
Sure, yeah, let's do the questions first.
Done.
All right, here is one I got from a couple people. SPJ, what is THAC0?
THAC0? It sounds like Cthulhu's brother.
Yep,
nailed it. All right, we talked lightly about alignments before, but can you name, how many alignments can you name?
Oh, man. I'm like trying to scan through Hearthstone stuff real quick to see if anything lines up.
Don't cheat. Just say,
what's in your heart?
Your heart, man. From your heart. What do you believe?
Dark and light.
Yep.
And
it's awesome. Yeah?
You got it.
Are you going to name a third?
Probably something to do with gods or God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Man, he's getting pretty specific. All right. Describe, these are all monsters that are very common. We did Beholder, which is like the number one last time.
Oh, that was a monster.
Yeah.
Yes, it was,
all right.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was like the seer monster. You nailed it. Right?
Yeah.
Everyone close their eyes.
Yep.
Describe a displacer beast.
It looks very fish-like and can shoot an eye beam out of its a cyclops fish.
When you say eye beam, do you mean like lasers out of its eyes, or do you mean like the giant metal girders that hold up skyscrapers?
Of the lasers.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I mean, it's important.
Here's one. We'll go with one that I'm sure you legit know, but this is a good warm up. Should have started with this. What is a mimic?
A mimic? Would it be like? Shit. I don't know.
What? Oh my God, that's amazing. I'm so jelly, man. I would love not to know these things and experience them for the first time.
Ogre jelly? Sorry.
All right. This one, last one. How about this? Because if you didn't get mimic, there's some of these. Okay. What is a drow?
A drow. Is it something that lives in the dark only?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not messing with you this time.
This is the most right you've been about anything so far.
Yes, you're so right on.
I feel like I've
give you a
heard
hint.
that before.
There's a very prominent one at Gen Con every year, I think.
It will give him the name.
Named Drizzit.
Drizzit the Drow.
Some people say Drizzed.
Yeah, Drizzed.
Like he drizzed all over my face.
Are you looking it up right now, SBJ?
No, I'm
Is
not,
that why
I'm
there's a delay? Okay.
I'm definitely not. Yeah, like I was thinking of trying to elaborate more, but I don't know. I wouldn't know anything more.
You don't want to
than-
push your luck. You want to
Push your luck.
something in the dark. Gotcha.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. You know what? We're so out of time. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to talk about the app, man, because we've just been having fun with the D&D quiz.
Yeah, and my apologies. I didn't know Cause of Death Ghost would go for so long, but I thought it was a good combo.
Yeah. You think you'll want to play it, SBJ?
Yeah, definitely.
Good. Then make our website.
Perfect. So from what I know on my end of the D&D game, that everyone has an option of being your normal races, your normal classes. The only difference is that the world is set in a Pokemon region, a Pokemon world. So,
Sean,
what do they call
name the
Patchet
world
Town?
the Pokemon takes place in. What's the Pokemon world?
Pokerth.
Okay.
all right.
Name one tournament, Sean. One Pokemon tournament.
There's the Rock Gym, and that's at the beginning.
Yep.
Tournament of Champions. Tournament. Nope.
Sorry, SBJ. I just like these quizzes. Go on.
These are great.
These are amazing.
There are a couple different worlds. There's Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, Kalos, Unova.
These are different planets?
They're different regions. So like Unova is based off of New York and Kalos is based off of France. And
What's the one on the 3DS where you can rollerblade?
that is Kalos. That would be
I
France.
played that one.
Wow. I haven't played any since the 90s, Red and Blue, and mine was red.
They're re-releasing Red and Blue, right?
Yes. Yeah, they were releasing Red and Blue this weekend on 3DS.
Man, want it.
So
Do the guys on your Pokemon podcast ever make fun of you for having a board game podcast and then quiz you about board game stuff?
no. They like board
Yeah.
games for the most part.
It's a B team. All right, what else? So it takes place. So it's basically just regular D&D. So you're gonna have the regular classes and races, but it's just like these D&D characters end up in the world of Pokemon.
Right. And then the only other difference that I know for sure is that I think there's a pet class in D&D, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah, the old pet class.
The old pet class. I think it's maybe called the Tamer.
Look, I mean, D&D is hugely customizable with
Right.
tons of source books, so I would not be surprised at all.
So the only difference is instead of having like a wolf or a bear, or what I'm referring to World of Warcraft because they have like a pet class that has like wolves and bears and stuff, is that you would have a Pokemon instead of a wolf or a bear.
What's your Pokemon gonna be?
That's the class
Goldeen.
I decided on, and it's going to be Farfetch.
Oh, good old Farfetch. Sean, describe what Farfetch looks like.
It's kind of like an anime Japanese sort of animal, but it fits in your pocket and it's kind of like a monster. Oh wait, no, it looks like a bird.
It is a bird. Yeah, it's a bird.
Wait, did
Out
you
of
just
nowhere.
remember that, Sean, for legit?
Yeah, it hit me out of nowhere.
You know, you should be asking me these questions because Sean knows more about Pokemon than I do, for sure. For sure.
So yeah, it's pretty much a D&D game. There's still going to be D&D monsters. Everyone else is still playing pretty much legit D&D classes, and I'm just going to be playing one that has a Pokemon attack for me instead of me doing the work.
I think it'd be cool to actually play a real Pokemon pen and paper RPG that's just straight up in the world. It's got its own rules for capturing things. I think people would have fun with that. Although I'm sure the endless grinding would not translate super well,
Yeah,
but
probably not. But yeah, it's going to be this coming Monday, so the day after. Podcast will already be out by then, but we're going to do Monday, and then switch to an all Tuesday schedule. And then it's supposed to be like a TV show season, so it's supposed to go X amount of episodes, have a definitive ending for that season, and then, if possible, the next season could pick up where it left off, or go in a different direction, and then revisit that in a future season.
I want to watch this. How do I watch this?
It will be on twitch.tv/PKMNcast.
nice.
Gotcha.
And I'll tweet it out and everything, so.
Here's my pitch for a Pokemon pen and paper RPG. The
Oh,
party,
is this an elevator pitch?
absolutely, it is not.
Oh, do you want to make it an elevator pitch? Because I only got to do an elevator pitch last time.
All right, I'll do one.
All right. What do you want to be? I'll even let you choose since we're totally railroading you here.
I want to be Psyduck.
All right. Wait.
Psy.
It's real good.
Mom. Whoa. You all played the Pokemon. Your party is all Pokemon. And the GM is the trainer. Time. And you all sit in the dark until eventually the GM says, okay, I just threw all of you at a thing. Attack it. And then you attack it. And then you go back in your Pokeball. And the adventure is over.
So good.
Aye.
That was a quick elevator pitch too. So here's my question, Sean. When they say they throw the Pokeballs, is it actually then a mystery, or it's not just an arena fight? So it's just a one-shot adventure after another? Is that what you're?
I just think it'd be funny if like everybody in the party, you're all playing a different Pokemon, but since all Pokemon spend their lives in this sort of weird capsule enslavement, you're just in the dark most of the time on somebody's belt, and then eventually light opens up and you're out in a weird world and there's a monster attacking you and you have to fight it to the death. And then your guy says, hey, good job. Back in the Pokeball. The world of Pokemon gets darker the more you think about
really think about it. It really does. It really does.
Like
all
how
right.
you could store them on a computer. Whatever. Nothing, SBJ?
No, I think that was brilliant. It was really good. Perfect. Well, we can probably talk about the app next week. It's still it's still in more or so like a beta form, right?
Yeah, I put an announcement out on our Tuesday night Facebook, Twitter. I didn't do Twitter, but I think it's automatically linked to Twitter. And
it is. And then I saw that and I posted one.
All right, cool. Very cool. So it's out there. It's just tworoomsapp.com. And next time we'll talk about opinions on how to monetize it, talk about if we should monetize it. If so, how do we do it? Like, should we do like a Patreon thing, or should it just be a $1 app and you have to pay for expansions? Or should it just be, again, free, but have advertisements on it to help pay? Ugh, right? So we'll talk about different models and different thoughts about it. So that sounds like a good next week. I feel bad for the people that were really listening for us to talk about it, but Cause of Death Ghost and Super Secret Project SBJ unveiled.
Worth it. Absolutely worth it.
Awesome. Yeah. Alan, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook. I'm lonely. I'll accept any friend request. My name is Alan Girding, ALANGER, DING. I'm on the tweets as well, at Alan Girding.
And Sean?
At Sean McCoy, SEANMCCOY.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Dragging a Lake. And you can follow Tuesday Night Games on Twitter at PlayTKG.
Yeah, I love it. Every time I hear it, it just gives me a little ooh.
Yeah. What do they want to email some comments?
If you want to email us, it will be at podcast@tuesdaynightgames.com.
It's Night with a K, y'all.
Night with a K. Otherwise, this episode is
Finished.
I knew you were going to do Psyduck. I'm in your head, man. I knew it. You're so bad.